let's play Grimdark Future Firefight. This is the final in my tournament. We have 3 finalists, the Ratmen clans, High Elf fleets and the Human Defence Force. Our teams are now up to 300 points, so let's see what's new. The Ratmen clans now have this lovely Rat Ogre bodyguard armed with an electro spear, and Baba Splice is now armed with an electro hammer. For the High Elf fleets, Lyra F has traded his shardgun for a missile launcher, and Guardian Cleric Shadran now has an energy field, which has a kind of stealth aura. The Human Defence Force now has a Stormtrooper, Joe Capricorn, who is armed with a plasma pistol and an energy axe. The special rule we're using this time is relic items, so Baba Splice has a Tome of Magic, which will give her 3 bonus caster points at some point. Guardian Cleric Shadran has a Fencer's Blade, so he will not become fatigued in melee. And Captain Krenon has a Kingslayer weapon, so his Master Rifle will do horrible damage to other heroes. So we're just going to play with 6 objectives, 3 in No Man's Land and 1 in each home deployment area. So before we start battle round 1, Joe Capricorn is going to go into ambush, and Sarik is going to make a fast scout move to these pipes here. Right, let's see who goes first. I'm going to roll 1 die, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will determine who activates first, then we'll go clockwise. So, HDF go first. At the start of the round, Guardian Cleric Shadran activates his energy field, protecting these units. Captain Krenon issues a take aim order on the 2 heavy weapons teams, himself and Sergeant Pine. The 3 recruits advance into this difficult terrain and will shoot at Sarik. 2 rifles have line of sight, quality 6. And both shots miss. Okay, Baba Splice activates, and she's going to cast a spell. Let's cast Filth. We'll use 1 caster point, so we need a 4 or better. Yeah, here we go. Lots of lovely filth for 4 units. Baba Splice herself, the Rat Ogre, the Rat Swarm, and Zilf. And then she'll rush towards an objective. Okay, High Elves. Lyra F will advance up onto the roof. He does need to be careful because he's outranged by the autocannon team here. Can't quite shoot them. So, let's fire a missile down at Baba Splice. It's a miss. And now, of course, the autocannon team will take the opportunity to shoot up at Lyra F. With the take aim bonus, that would be 2 hits, but Lyra F has the energy field stealth bonus, so that is 1 hit. Lyra F does have cover, but it's armor piercing 2, so he still needs a 6 to save. That could be a wound, but he benefits from Shadran's Shield of Grace, which gives a regeneration check. Nope, it is a wound, and a wound effect roll. He's shaken. The Rat Ogre bodyguard rushes up to the radiation pits. Shadran has a serious grudge against the autocannon team, so that's who he wants to destroy in this battle, so we'll rush him there. Captain Krenon is eager to try out his king-slaying Master Rifle, so we'll advance here, which does bring him into range of shooting at Shadran. So, +1 to hit for take aim, -1 to hit for the stealth. It's a miss. Oops, Master Rifle is 2 attacks. Still a miss. The Ratmen chemists are rushing up behind the structure, making sure they stay behind the wall, since there's a very nasty blast weapon just here. The Elemental Protector Gaithar will lumber out, rushing over here. Sergeant Pine makes a dash for this objective. Why are there so many rats? Okay, Zilf the Shiverborn will rush. Acolyte Gilcon will rush. He can fit under the gap there and make it to these pipes. Sergeant Sharp will head out of this rubble here and plonk a grenade over at that Rat Ogre. It's a hit. Defense 4. That's a wound on the Rat Ogre. He's tough 3, so no wound effect roll just yet. Chitterflux. You can run up to this building as well. Next turn he can sneak under the gap. Privates Bucket and Scab will fire their mortar at the Rat Ogre. Plunk. And missing. And finally, the 3 Ratmen Stalkers will advance here. Except they're not called Stalkers anymore. There was an army book change. They're now called Operators. That's the end of round 1. So the Ratmen capture their home objective. The High Elves do not capture theirs because the Lyra F is shaken. And the Human Defence Force capture their home objective. This round we're starting with the High Elves, and the first thing to do is drop down the energy field bonus on these 3. I shan't bother giving it to Sarik since he has stealth anyway. Let's start with Acolyte Gilcon, who is going to try casting Creator. 2 caster points, 4 or better. It's a whiffle. In that case, he will make a stealth move up to this objective. Captain Krenon, he will issue a take aim order. Who shall we put it on? Yes, autocannon. Is it worth it on the recruits? Not really. Here we go. And then an advance forwards, and he'll point his Kingslaying Master Rifle over at Shadran again. Kingslaying weapons are particularly nasty. When you fire them against an enemy hero, you get an extra 3 attacks, and it's AP 4. So, we have got a take aim bonus, but the energy field, so that's only 2 hits. Right, the shield wall and the cover don't mean much because it's AP 4. That's 2 potential wounds, but we also have Shield of Grace. Let's see if regeneration helps. Helps against one of them, that's still 1 wound. Baba Splice. I think she's going to try and cast a level 3 spell, Frenzy, and for this she's going to cash in her Tome of Magic to get 3 caster points. And then she'll use 5 caster points to guarantee the spell will work on a 2 or better. Yes! Frenzy! So 4 units get a speed boost. We'll just do this. And then Baba Splice will rush, which will bring her all the way over here. Kythar, he's going to advance to the objective and we'll try shooting his distortion gun through that gap there. Quality 3. Oh dear. Never mind. Alright, the autocannon team. They're going to continue pummeling away at Lyra F up on the roof here. We have a take aim bonus, but a stealth penalty. So that is 0 hits. Okay, the Rat Ogre bodyguard is all frenzied up, so he's going to charge. Not for the nearest foe, but the one furthest away, just because I can. The Electric Spear is a single quality 4 attack. He misses, and Sergeant Sharp can punch back. Also misses. Sarik is going to make a mad rush up to the ruined chapel. Well, the recruits were hoping to advance that way, so I guess they'll just focus fire instead, shooting their rifles at Sarik. So +1 to hit, hitting on a 5. 1 hit. 4 or better to dodge. Ooh, it is actually a hit and a wound. Wound effect roll. Shaken. The rat operators make a frenzied rush, which will get them all the way onto this side of the objective. Alright, Lyra F will hunker down. Yes. Right, the HDF mortar team will lob a shell over at the operators, needing a 5. No! Once again, the rat swarm holds position. Shadran does not fear this king-slaying weapon. He is going to rush here. Alright, Sergeant Sharp. So, if you'll excuse me, Mr. Rat Ogre, we're going to sidestep over here, and with our take aim bonus, shoot a grenade at the operators. Hitting. That would be blast free, so 5 to block. Block 1, but that is still 2 casualties. Chitterflux is going to climb underneath that gap and then fire his plasma rifle at Kythar. It's a miss. High elves are all done, so let's move on to the last human unit. Sergeant Pine is going to hold position, see if he can get his relentless bonus, fire the fusion gun into the Rat Ogre bodyguard. And indeed, he gets his relentless bonus, that is 2 hits at AP 4. They both go through. It's deadly free, that is 6 wounds. There's no way the Rat Ogre bodyguard can survive that, so he crumbles into a charred mess. Right, just these 3 chemists here, and they're going to hold position and take a focus fire action and lob their biohazard vials over to Kythar. Only 1 hit. Defending on a 3. It's not blocked, that's 1 wound. At the end of round 2, the Ratmen capture this objective, and the High Elves claim 3 objectives here, back here, and here. Not bad going, they just need to survive now. Round 3, and how about we bring in Joe Capricorn now? He's going to drop down way in the corner there with his sights on the Ratmen objective. Shadron deploys his energy field bonus, although perhaps they're a little too close to the enemy for stealth to benefit them. Acolyte Gilcon activates first, and he's going to cast a spell. He's going to try Hide. Level 1 spell, so we need a 4 or better. It's successful, so we're targeting Krenon and the autocannon team. They both now have a penalty next time they shoot. And then, swinging his energy sword, he will charge at Captain Krenon. We have 2 strikes. 2 hits. 6 to dodge. Has 2 wounds. Krenon swings back with his close combat weapon and completely misses. We'll activate Captain Krenon now because we want that take aim bonus in nice and early. 1 for you and 1 for Sergeant Pine. And an advance will bring him up to the objective, and then he'll let rip with the Kingslayer Master Rifle at Shadron. Now, the hide penalty and the take aim bonus cancel each other out, so that leaves us with 2 hits. Armor piercing 4 against heroes. Perhaps Shadron's Shield of Grace will save him. Blocks 1, that's 1 wound. For the Ratmen, I think they'll have the Rat Swarm tie up Joe Capricorn before he can get close. We'll charge in. Our swarm attack is 3 dice at quality 6 and furious. None of the rats managed to bite Joe, so he can swing back with his energy axe now. Quality 4. Oh, complete miss. Lyra F activates next, and he's going to point his missile launcher down at Baba Splice there. Focus fire action. It's still a miss. Time to fire the mortar. Bucket and Scab are going to launch one over at Shadron here. Because of the energy field, it will need a 6 to hit, however. And it's a hit. Right, Shadron first. He does have shield wall, so we'll block on a 3. Yep, he shrugs off that fragmentation. And Sarik blocks on a 3 or better. Yep, he's fine as well. Chitterflux is going to advance around here, close enough to the objective. So hopefully he sees it, because he's going to blast Kythar with his plasma rifle. Which is a hit. Armor piercing 4. It's blocked. Right, back over here. Shriek does not want to get shredded by the autocannon, so he's going to unstun and hunker down. And in response, these young recruits are going to spread out a little and fire their rifles at Shadron. They are close enough to ignore the energy shield, and they have a +1 take aim bonus, so they are hitting on 5s. 2 hits. With cover and shield wall, Shadron needs a 3 to block, and he dodges both shots. Alright, how about we have this operator use his flamethrower before he gets wasted by that fusion gun. We will fire it at Sergeant Pine. It's a reliable weapon, so that is a hit. 5 to block. It's a wound. But is it a kill? Nope. So Sergeant Pine is shaken. Alright, Caithar. He's going to hold position and shoot his distortion gun through that gap again at the chemists. With the focus fire action, he will need just a 2 to hit. Solid hit, and you know what? Caithar, as an elemental protector, is relentless. So that is 2 blast hits with AP2 on the chemists. Even with the cover, it's 6s to block. So a little miniature black hole appears, and 5 wounds. So 2 sucked away, and 3 wounds on the survivor. What happens to him? He's dead. Right, time to fire the autocannon, and yes, Gilcon is stood right there, so let's shoot at him. What are the modifiers? -1 for stealth, +1 for take aim, -1 for hide. So we're going to need 6s, aren't we? There's a 6. Armor piercing 2, so 6s to dodge. It's a dodge, but we have Shield of Grace from Shadran here, which fails him, so that is 1 wound. What happens? Gilcon is shaken. Zilf the Shiverborn. Yes, he's going to charge. He doesn't need the extra movement. Blub blub, because he's going to charge Caithar and thwack him with his energy fist. 1 hit. Armor piercing 4. That penetrates. Caithar is tough 3, so no wound effect roll needed yet. And we're moving back onto the High Elf fleets, and it's just Shadran to move. Shadran still has his sights set on the autocannon teams, but there's these recruits in the way, so he will charge at them. 2 attacks with the energy spear. Quality 4, 2 hits, AP 4, 2 kills. The surviving recruit will try a feeble little attack back and fails. Sergeant Sharp will hop, skip and jump to this objective, and then let's shoot that operator in the back of his head with a grenade. That is a miss. Baba Splice is going to cast Cracks at Lyra F. It's successful. An AP2 hit. And Lyra F is indeed cracked. Wounds go up to 2. Let's see what happens. Lyra F is shaken again. And then Baba Splice will charge. So under the gap, up onto here, up the ladder. She's not going to balance, is she? Yes, she is. And 1 attack with an electro hammer. Quality 4. Oh, it's a swing and a miss. Lyra F will try and kick Baba Splice in the head with his boot. And does so. Will it bounce off her helmet? No, it goes through. And over to the final human unit, Joe Capricorn, who is going to rush around the rats, and by my calculation that will get him here. Yes, that's near enough. And that is the end of round 3, I think. Everyone's moved. So, objectives. Joe Capricorn captures this one. This weird telescope thingy is now contested. In this corner, I do not think Baba Splice is close enough. Yes, she needs to get up that ladder, so that is still controlled by the High Elves. The Human Defence Force retain control of their home objective, and this pile of junk here is contested. Oops, I did forget about Sergeant Pine, so we'll just have him hunker down.